Hello, Earth Signs. Thank you for joining me on my channel, Divine Insight. I want to, first of all, welcome you to the Divine Insight family and just make you aware that, hey, I'm not new to doing readings or astrology or anything of that nature, but I am new to TikTok. And so until I reach a certain number of likes and followers, I don't believe that I have the access to necessarily do lives just yet. So feel free to support me by liking and sharing my page to help me get to that point, because I'm really looking forward to doing lives and offering those free yes or no questions, and interacting and networking with you all. A lot of times you won't see me show my face on camera, and that's because I like to protect my energy, so that I can be accurate with my reads and not get distracted. And then I like to focus on making sure that I'm fully prepared to interpret what the spirit wants me to tell you. Right now, I have a few specials that are going on. Of course, the one yes or no question via the live is always going to be available once we get to that point. But if you feel like you need a free yes or no question now, feel free to inbox me. I'll be more than happy to respond at my earliest convenience. So a couple of other specials we have going on until Sunday, as we try to build our network here on TikTok. We are doing 3 questions for $15. All you need to do is go to my page and just tap the email and email me and just show me that you've made the payment either via Cash App, or if you prefer PayPal, just request that from me and I'll send you my PayPal. And then we also have, if you want a love reading, an in-depth love reading, that's $50, as well as finances and career reading is $50. If you have an emergency reading and you can wait 24 hours to receive that emergency reading, that is $150. And then if you needed a same day emergency reading, that is $300. Please take advantage of these deals that we have made available to you. And I look forward to working with you guys. So right now, there's a consistent pattern after doing the readings that I recently posted on the page of no contact with some partners, people taking steps back and not wanting to deal with narcissistic behavior and things. And so I'm not going to do the same reading per sign. So what I'm doing is I'm going to do a earth sign reading, and just ask spirit, what does the collective need to know? Or what don't they know? What do they need to know? And try to just get a few cards about that. So let's go ahead. Spirit, what does the earth signs need to know? And this is a timeless reading. Spirit will ensure that you see it when it's meant for you to see it. So just take a deep breath and kind of put that person on your mind. Let's go from there. Spirit, what do the earth signs, what do they need to know? Earth signs are cross watchers. And please excuse me because I'm a little under the weather, as my baby had caught something from school and I guess it's finally hitting me. So the card about self-love, making healthy choices has come out. Trying to focus on being happier. Love and life. Earth sign. You want happiness. That's your main goal. Peace and happiness. That's your main focus of moving into a new phase of life, is focusing on your happiness. You want to be happy, evolving and growing, healing your inner child and releasing your past. So just those 2 cards alone, that tells me that, and it kind of still follows the theme from earlier, with the no contact reading. And then the heartbreak card came out. Separation, loss, deception, lies, shock and attack. Someone feeling backstabbed. Just those 3 cards alone tells me that there was a connection here, or there were some past experiences that may have occurred. You could have been in a long-term relationship that didn't end the way you expected, and you harbored feelings from that connection. And then you may from there kind of built up a defense or a wall, and just kind of dealt with people from there as you pleased out of fear of being hurt again, operating in protective mode, right? And that you may feel like that hasn't really gotten you anywhere, because the next card that come out is many options, one night stand, string along. So it seems to me that either someone in your connection has some past wounds that they haven't healed from, and because they haven't healed from those past wounds, they were only focused, they were very selfish. So it seems to me that someone got hurt, was in a connection, got hurt or heartbroken, probably started dating someone or multiple people. And while dating those multiple people, developed relationships with maybe one or two or three people here and there. One may have gotten stronger than you expected it to get, but your approach was very selfish because of the past trauma that you had. So you didn't go into that connection thinking that it was really going to go anywhere. You were in it as a codependent person, whether that was emotional codependency or financial codependency. But either way, someone here feels like they're being backstabbed. It feels like there's some deception and there's a possible separation. Let me get a little more insight into this. Yeah, because of this, someone feels betrayed. And because of this, someone's putting up boundaries. Someone's putting up boundaries and another person is avoiding conversations, real conversations. And whoever's avoiding the conversations, self-sabotage a connection, if not multiple connections here. Let me see something. Spirit, give me the yeah, so someone here is depressed. They're suffering loss, misery. They feel burdened. They're having anxiety. And it's actually keeping them up at night with the Knight of Swords. But really, you're up in your head, whoever this is. So to me, it seems like someone has past trauma from a previous relationship, or it could be childhood experiences or whatever. It doesn't matter. You have some trauma. You got into another connection and you attached yourself to this other connection because you had a codependency, an emotional codependency or financial codependency. It could have been anything, but the person that you attach yourself to, you were never supposed to be with in the first place. But it looks like they may have been being nice to you, or they did things for you, or they helped you emotionally get over your past, or well, not get over it, but kind of heal somewhat to get you to a stable emotional state. But you never truly got over what happened to you in the past, and you were never truly happy. You were operating out of a place of, you pretty much settled, and you were depressed. You could have been dealing with a Gemini. And you went into this new phase. You went into this new phase as a heartbroken person, which ultimately caused you to deceive the person that you went into that new phase with. And you deceived them by having multiple options. So you never settled down truly with this other person. And it was because you weren't ready. You moved into a connection prematurely. And this could be you or the cross watcher. Put it wherever it applies. And because of that, you had built up boundaries or a built up wall of defense because of your past experiences. So you never gave the connection a true chance, even though the connection was never really for you in the first place. I think you ended up probably dealing with a friend or somebody that was just supposed to be a good friend. And it was probably because they nurtured your feelings a little bit, made you think that you were feeling whole, but really you were never over what you came out of. And because of that, you ended up sabotaging this connection, and the connection, your ego and pride was in the way, and the fears that you had and never wanted to experience again from your previous connection became a frustration for you and the partner. You kind of were lacking confidence in this relationship, which brings me back to the fact that you settled, and you would avoid, it says avoid conversations, but I think you were trying to avoid commitment. So the person that, whoever you were dealing with, they didn't really want to lose you because they were in love with you and they really wanted you. But ultimately they end up settling for you, and you ended up settling for them because of who they were and what they did and what they could do for you. Is that a spirit? Let me make sure I'm interpreting this the right way. Yeah, and the realization is, spirit is saying it's time for you to move on. It's time for you to move on, because now that you surrendered to your current circumstances, and you were never supposed to be in those circumstances. You were never supposed to be in that situation in the first place. And spirit is saying it's time for you to move on and embrace new opportunities that you may be having with the air sign. Yeah, but you're having difficulty deciding on what you want to do. And I think the reason that you're having difficulty in deciding on what you want to do is because you don't want to hurt someone else's feelings that you were never supposed to be with in the first place, but they've been good to you. But now you have somebody new, because it says you had many options. Potentially, you might have been moving around in the streets a lot. You may have been having one night stands and things like that. And see, this card is key on a ring. You had an unconventional connection with the person that you were with, and you may still be attached to this person in some way. You had an unconventional connection where it allowed you to freely move around and have multiple options, and you would string people along. And ultimately, your patterns self-sabotage the connection you were in. And it also ruined a potential connection, potentially ruined a potential connection that you're trying to pursue now, but you're having difficulty deciding if you should leave the current situation to go to the new situation. And so right now, I think you're retreating and you're just watching and you're looking. And that card also signifies to me that I think both parties, the current party and the future party, are both watching and trying to figure out what you're doing. So it seems like you're confusing, as confused as you are, you're confusing people as well. It says looking at pictures, missing you. So whoever this is, you are missing them, and they're probably missing you. Let me get a little bit more clarity on that. Yeah, you want stability and security. You want to grow. You have insane chemistry with somebody. But you were love bombing, being narcissistic, and the connection became one-sided. But you're trying to manifest one of these connections back. Let me get some more details on this. Spirit, who is the earth sign missing? Who is the earth sign missing? So you're looking forward to a happy ending. You want it. So ultimately, you want marriage, joy, peace, and happiness, and a happy ending. You want emotional well-being, financial stability, all of that. But right now you're considering your options. So you might be torn between two people. You might be torn between a Pisces and an air sign. And the signs don't really matter. It could be anybody, but I think you're torn in between the two. That's the song I can't sing, but that's the song that's in my head. And you have insane chemistry with one of these people. I think that you have a connection with one, but the chemistry is stronger with somebody else and the newer person. And I don't think you expected it. I think you wanted to stay in this player energy as long as you could to avoid being hurt. But now you're trying to make a decision because you feel like right now you're the person that holds the power. You're trying to make a final decision on who you should go towards. And you're missing somebody. And you feel like there's a person here. I think you think that both of them will provide you with stability and security. But it's one person in particular that you have insane chemistry with. So I think you might be afraid to disrupt your stability if you walk away from the past person. But a part of you also feels like you could have happiness and stability and security with the future person if you make a decision to go towards them. Is that correct, Spirit? Yeah. And you're curious. You're curious. Your curiosity is actually killing you. Yeah. And again, that's another air sign card. You want to go towards the air sign. Somebody does. You think that air sign might be your happily ever after, but you don't want to hurt this Pisces or whoever else. You don't want to hurt them because you probably have already hurt them enough, but they kind of let you kind of do whatever you wanted to do while you were with them. They settled, to be honest. They settled. You were not supposed to be with them. And ultimately, you're not going to be with them. If you end up with them, you will never be satisfied. You will never reach your full potential, and neither will they. It will be stifled. Yeah. What else, Spirit? Let's talk about this narcissistic love bombing. Ooh. Yeah, you had too many options. Way too many options. But you want a celebration with somebody. And you're willing to nurture. You want the relationship that you can nurture and cherish. Yeah, you have way too many options. 7 of Cups, way too many options. Way too many options. Let me get some more cards. Way too many options. Yeah, whoever you were with or are with or whatever, they settled big time for your behavior. They wanted to do whatever they could do to keep you. But ultimately, that was not your wish fulfillment. You knew you weren't supposed to be with them, but now you got an attachment because you probably got codependencies with them. You probably got finances tied up with them and all that. But you really want out. You know that's not where you're supposed to be. The love call, and again, this kind of aligns with your previous readings, earth signs, expressing love. You want to talk to somebody. Someone here doesn't know how you feel, and you want to have a conversation with them to let them know how you feel. So this may be where the no contact is coming in. One of these people you haven't been talking to, you've been holding back from, and you're causing confusion for them. And you want to go talk to them. So what's holding you up from talking or pursuing them or going towards them to at least have the conversation? What's holding you up from going to have the conversation? Again, this is another Aquarius card. Earth sign. I said Virgo, so it must be a Virgo. It says you want to go towards this Aquarius, and it doesn't have to be an Aquarius because everybody's different. You want to go towards this Aquarius because you're ready to come through confusion and you want a fresh start with them. This is the Ace of Swords. You want to speak your truth. You want to set clear boundaries and communicate to this person so that y'all can have a fresh start. You want a new beginning with them, with this Aquarius that consists of clarity. And Spirit is saying you need to do that now. Like you need to, because you had all these options, you're slowing down the pace of this connection. You need to get out of your own head because you're kind of trapping yourself at this point. Because I think that the current person or the past person, whoever you were with before you met this Aquarius, which I'm thinking is a Pisces or something, I don't know, it could be anybody. they even know that the connection is over. And I feel like this person knows that you have feelings for somebody else. Yeah. And if you want your prosperity, Earth sign, Ace of Pentacles just came out, which is a Earth sign card. In order for you to go towards what God has for you, which includes wealth and material gain, as well as pleasure in the love, in the world of love, you got to go towards your Ace of Swords, your Aquarius. You have to get out of this connection. You're keeping yourself in this situation. You are the person that is afraid of detaching because you are afraid of losing your stability. But honestly, your life is going to be better. You're going to be happier if you move forward. You can't be afraid, sir or ma'am. You got to get on the ball. Another Earth card has come off. When you move towards your happiness, you're going to have a rising status. It's going to be a new home, your business. You're going to flourish business wise or career wise. There's going to be unity and teamwork in the connection. Your skills are going to improve because you're going to encourage each other. You're going to be rewarded financially. Y'all are going to be successful in business together. There's going to be like a burst of energy when you finally get over your fears and things, when you finally actually let go of this past connection, because this past connection now may be causing you a little bit of drama because of the deception that you caused. Because neither one of y'all are happy. Y'all just tolerating each other. It might be a lot of arguing going on. But when you finally make a decision, but this is a Sagittarius card, the Eight of Wands. When you finally make a decision to move forward, there's going to be a sudden burst of energy and things in your life will start to speed up. Right now, things may be stagnant. It's because you're comfortable. So you can't grow where you're comfortable. Yeah. A lot of obstacles will be removed when you let go of things that no longer serve you. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Let's see what else Spirit has for us. What else do you have for the Earth sign, Spirit? Yeah, there's a connection that's going to evolve to a new phase once you release your past. So, what's the past? Is the past a person? Oops. That's on the shuffle. Is the past a person? Is the collective in a current connection with someone that they need to separate themselves from or prepare to separate themselves from? Yeah. And that person is giving you, they supported you, gave you comfort and security and stability, and at some point they were a caring partner and they were a provider. And because of everything that they were doing for you, the person could be a Capricorn. You thought highly of the loyalty. The loyalty is what gave you comfort. And so that's the only reason that you started to prioritize the relationship, because of the acts of service that he or she was giving you. But you never really were supposed to be in this connection. The acts of service and the loyalty and the security and stability and the things they were doing for you made you codependent on them. Somebody unknowingly, somebody was being narcissistic towards you too, because they knew that they played on your emotions. They knew that you were not ready for a relationship, but they wanted you. They were tired of being by themselves and they wanted a celebration. And so they played on your emotions when you were weak to will you in. And they did things for you to make you codependent on them so that you wouldn't leave. They gave you an attachment to thinking that the end result, he or she is going to pick me. It's going to be me. And that's why when it says you have multiple options, they stayed with you knowing that you have multiple options. That's why it says this is an unconventional relationship. And you would have one night stands and things of that nature. And they wouldn't say anything. They would care and it would bother them, but they didn't care because they felt like they had you trapped, like you couldn't go nowhere. But ultimately now neither one of y'all are happy with each other. Y'all care about each other. Y'all love each other. Y'all don't want anything to happen. It's like y'all have an understanding. Like, I do this for you and you do this for me. But you're not happy. You regret making that decision to stay in that connection. But you're afraid to let go of your stability. So it's like a contract. But y'all don't have a soul contract though. And you may be going through a period of turbulence with one of these connections, or maybe both. Yeah, it's conflict and disagreement going on. Is that correct, Spirit? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the Emperor. Yeah, so it says the Emperor, you're taking charge. It's at the point where you're ready to take charge of your life. Enough is enough. Because if you don't, you're gonna miss out on your opportunity with your future partner. Because the person that you were with might have been the Queen of Pentacles. She might have been very financially stable, or he might have been very financially stable. This is the Queen, so I'm assuming a woman was financially stable, and she was pouring into a damaged man that was never ready for a relationship, and she low-key took advantage of him at his weakest point. And those are narcissistic traits. She could have played with his mind. She could have spoke life into him a little bit, but her intention was to make him commit to her, but he was never supposed to be hers. And this man is the Emperor, but he's not operating in Emperor energy. And it's because he was codependent on the Queen of Pentacles. Is that correct, Spirit? Yeah. And he wants his dreams to come true now. He wants his dreams to come true. Yeah. What else, Spirit, do you have for the Earth sign? Outdated thinking. So something about he or she, and I'm gonna assume it's a he because the Queen of Pentacles was a woman. So I'm assuming, I mean, it could be woman to woman, man to man, because the times we're in now. But whoever this is that had many options and was a part of this unconventional situationship with their past person or their current person or whatever. This is definitely a third party situation. They have conditioned themselves to believe that their behavior is acceptable because this person tolerated so much from them with the many options in the unconventional relationship that now, Earth sign, you are the other person believes that their behavior should be accepted by anyone. And I think that this new person is putting their foot down saying, no, I'm not accepting your bullshit. What you're doing is wrong. And therefore, I think that that is why you guys are in communication and you are trying to run towards them with these love messages. But you know that before you can do that, you got to get rid of this past situation. Yeah, for in order for that relation to ascend to a new phase, you got to let go. You got to get yourself unstuck out of this situation. And really, you're not stuck. You just got to get out of it. I think you're afraid that your stability, you letting go of this situation that doesn't serve you, is disrupting your stability and security to an extent. Not knowing that you're going to have something way better if you follow what God's trying to give you. This ascending card also signifies to me work that needs to be done on yourself. You have to fix yourself eternally. You have a lot, you're damaged goods. You got a lot of things you haven't worked on. Because money can't heal everything. Yeah. What else, Spirit? What else? So there's unconditional love in a connection, but there's not equal give and take. You're robbing somebody of equal give and take. And I think it's both parties, because if you have many options, you can't give fully to anybody because you're spreading yourself thin. Even if you're love bombing people, you're giving a little bit here, giving a little bit here, giving a little bit here, so you keep everybody around. You're love bombing, and the relationship is one-sided for both ladies at this time, or both men. And the person that's being narcissistic and dealing with multiple options and accepting that unconventional relationship style, they're enjoying their single life, but they're internally miserable. And they're not, and you know, the little bit that they're doing, they're not giving true affection to either one of these people. Spirit, is that correct? Am I interpreting this right? Yeah. Yep. And because of that, it's a period of turbulence, and you want to overcome it with communication. Is the person that he wants to communicate with the new love? Yeah, it's the new love. It's the new love. It's the new love, but you also want to have a conversation with the current person and make a logical decision. You want to use your discernment, and because both of them are, it looks like that both of them are in the pursuit of truth, and they're seeking clarity, and they're trying to be open-minded because they don't want to close the door on this. But a logical decision has to be made from both parties. And again, this is an air sign card. This is an Aquarius and Libra card. And so I'm thinking that if an Aquarius isn't involved, I think the Aquarius is utilizing their intelligence and knowledge based off what they've seen and what they've heard to make a logical decision to protect themselves. So they're deep in evaluation about what they should do with whoever is putting them in a third party. But this also tells me that that person that's playing single is also deep in their head too about making a final decision on whether he should leave his current stability to move forward to unconditional love and happiness. Yeah, Spirit. Yeah. So ultimately, somebody's going to be brave and step out on faith. It says moving forward and being cheered on. You're going towards your passion. Yeah, you're going towards your passion. Is the passion the new partner? Is their passion the new partner? Yeah. You're going to have emotional support, nourishment, healing, compassion, your inner wisdom. And if you trust your instinct, it's going to direct you to your queen. And you're going to have balance and alignment in this connection. Yeah. Yeah, but you have to surrender to your current circumstances. And again, it came right back out. I can't lie to you. It came right back out. You got to be brave. You got to step out on faith and get yourself out of this rut so that you can have wish fulfillment. How is the connection going on with the previous or current friend? Is it a lot of arguing going on? Yeah. It's time for you to think beyond your current circumstances. And it's about quality of choice. You need to start making plans for your future so that you can do what you want to do. And the realization is you're having dreams about this new person. You've literally envisioned being with and marrying this new person. And it can happen if you allow it to happen. But you got to get out of your own head and let go of things that no longer serve you. Stop allowing people to keep you trapped and stop trapping yourself. You were never supposed to be in this connection before. You did not take the time that you needed to heal. You allowed someone to bamboozle you into a relationship because of what they felt like they did for you. And then you continue to ask more and more of this person emotionally, maybe financially. And that created a codependent attachment that you need to break yourself from. My advice to you would be to pray. Get closer to God. If you steered away from God, haven't been going to church, even if you don't go to church, right? Because in the Bible says you're supposed to congregate as a group. So that's really what the church is for. But you could praise God and talk to God anywhere. You shouldn't just be limited to the church house to do that. I encourage you to sit down and dwell in the space and talk to God and allow him to guide you. Ask him to strengthen your intuition. And as he starts to reveal things to you, your heart space will open up. Your heart cavity will release its pressure and you will begin to feel free. Yes. You'll gain strength and will. You got to tap into your inner fortitude. You will have everything you need to overcome every single one of your challenges. You don't have to be afraid of what your outcome is going to be if you walk away from this situation. Even if somebody tries to do something wrong to you and tries to take you to court over things that they have with you, or they co-signed for, or they did, whatever it may be, your stability is not going to be disrupted that bad. Even if you lose the house or the car, you got something 10 times better coming in. This is the cycle of life. Everybody can't be on top. You go through the cycle of life. That's what gives you your experiences, and that's what helps you learn. Collective, that is the reading for the earth signs. Use your wisdom. Trust your instinct. Be patient with your financial moves. Stop spending so much money. Learn to save your money. Listen to your inner voice. It looks like you may potentially, will he or she move towards the new party? Potentially air sign. Will they move towards the new party long term? Please fall completely out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you will. Yeah, everything is saying yes. You're going to move towards this new party. You're going to end up, now I ain't going to say it's going to be easy, because I think you're going to piss somebody off when you do this. But ultimately, it's the best decision for both of y'all. Y'all need to release yourselves. Yeah, you're going to move away from a burden relationship that became overwhelming and too demanding for you. And you were actually in a space of carrying heaviness. And you're going to follow your intuition, and you're being guided to move towards your happiness. But you got to have faith. You got to have faith in what you invest in. You got to have faith in everything that you do. And you got to really think to yourself, has the chosen path that I'm on, currently on, or have been in, has it gotten me where I really want to be? And if the answer is no, close that door and move towards your happiness. Yeah, move towards your happiness. That's exactly what you got to do. Yep. Because sometimes you can't get your blessing until you get to the other side. Yeah. And on the bottom of the deck, fresh start. Fresh start. Where everything feels right. Fresh start. But you better hurry up before you lose your husband away. Because this person that you're moving towards, I think that's your happily ever after. Absolutely. Prosperity. The beginning of wealth. Yep. 10 of Wands. That's another yes. Do the hard work. Get out of your head. You stuck in your head contemplating. What is there to think about? Yep. Spirit, that's the overall reading. Collective, that's the overall reading that we have for earth signs. Have a great day.